Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, February 21st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol PLTR. And yeah, unless you live under a rock, I'm sure you have seen PLTR in the headlines. Been a crazy mover, crazy past basically day and a half. You look at this point, yesterday, big sell-off going into the close and then the gap down here. With all that being said, though, you got to give credit where credit's due. From where it was at its lows to where it is right now, this has been a very, very solid bounce. But now that leads to the question of, but is there any sort of genuine power? Is there any sort of true strength behind this bounce? And I have no idea, but by using charts, we can make answering that question very straightforward. So let me change that to green for support. And that revolves around the logic that price movements with genuine power are going to make progress forward. Not go straight up, nothing can go straight up, but at least show signs of progress. And that's where this line comes into play, because I realize right now, okay, Clay, those are just words, but what do you mean by progress? And that's why I love charts. They help to make that very visual, and that is the $100 mark. Now, I'm not saying this is going to occur, but if the price were to come down here and break down below there, what would you have at that point? You would quite literally have the price having gone right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of genuine strength when you have a price make a great move and then go right back to where it started. On the flip side of things, though, again, like I said, nothing can go straight up. So maybe the price comes down here, behaves like that, and then starts to go back upwards. Now, all of a sudden, what do you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have lows right there. If you envision each one of those as stair steps, well, now you have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction. And again, that's the name of the game. That's what a truly strong move is going to do. So in my opinion on Friday, it's all about, can the price make progress? Can the price stay above that $100 mark? That'll definitely be the main level headed into Friday and into next week. Next one here, looking at MNDR, and have ourselves a nice pattern here. So let's get this drawn into play. We'll start with the bottom part of the pattern, get this trend line drawn right there. Again, green for support. Next part of the pattern, which looks like the price is knocking on the door right now. Yeah, right up at that level there. And then to make the pattern easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the big move right there. And then for you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to go upwards. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price can break up through the top part of that pattern, that break right there could generate upside buying pressure? That is a plausible scenario. Now, if the price does break up through there, because the market still doesn't close for another 27 minutes. So if you're watching this video and you're saying, well, Clay, actually the price is above that red line, next area of resistance that you then want to take a check of is right up here at these highs of the 98-cent mark. So a high volume break of that trend line right there, I think that give this a realistic chance to make a push up to there. Again, it's got to be a high volume break, but again, no guarantees. But definitely keep an eye on that. It's knocking on the door. If it can push through on high volume, we'll see if it can make a run up to that 98-cent mark. Now, if you're watching this and you're saying, well, actually, the price closed above 98 cents, well, that's just telling you that this was a monster bull pennant breakout. But like I said, you'll have a better idea because by the time you're watching this, you'll know how this all played out. Next one, SMCI, and this one had a good solid day in the sense of it's not like things got worse. It's not like the bleeding continued or anything like that. Just a boring day, but I say that as a compliment because after, the big downwards movements like this, boring days can be a good thing. And now we have, I think, a pretty well-defined level. So yes, up here at 66, that is indeed an area of resistance, but I would argue that the more practical and more relevant level right now is right here at 6160. Going through the history of things, you can see right there acted as resistance, right there acted as resistance several times. So if the price can come up here and get a break up through that level again, if it's a high volume break, then no guarantees, but I think it's more than irrational to think the price then could make a run up to these previous highs right there, if not even break above those. But again, it's got to be a high volume break of 6160. As far as areas of support are concerned, for those of you that have watched the past videos, I've been talking about that purple line there and saying, as long as the price is above there, then from the overarching standpoint, the chart's totally fine. And that holds true. So yeah, price, I was going to say got kind of close, but no, that's not even kind of close. So the price is still nicely above that purple line. Even if the price were to go down there and break down through the purple line, still the chart is in a much overall uptrend with the next key area of support being down there around the $51 mark. But all things considered, good, boring day, but like I said earlier, boring in a bullish sense. Next one here, STAI, and new highs on the day. It, pulled back, kind of almost fell just off of everybody's, not even caring. I mean, the volume was so low yesterday, but today picked back up, got a nice move, pulled back. And from an overarching standpoint, the trend remains very nicely in the bullish direction, and that's easiest seen by just how the price is doing a great job of staying nicely above that purple line there. I mean, you can also see it via just looking at the highs. So, I mean, these highs have gotten higher and higher, and then the lows doing the opposite, getting, the same, getting higher and higher. So, yes, overall, the trend is still drifting upwards, so just keep that in mind from the overarching standpoint. For more of the trading viewpoint, if you're looking to play some sort of breakout, I think we have a pretty well-defined trend line right there that you got to think a lot of people are watching. So if the price can work its way up there and get a high-volume break, then that could certainly generate some upwards buying pressure. In the very near term, and I'm not even going to necessarily mark it out, but right there I'd say is a key area of support. But again, I'm just making that temporary because if the price does break down below there, we still have that 50-period moving average as we've already discussed. But no doubt about it, very nice move today. Next one here, NVDA. I should get through this pretty quick because there's not a whole lot to update from the overarching standpoint if you've watched past videos. But if you haven't, we've been talking about that area of resistance right there. Key trend line, price didn't even really get anywhere close to it. So that remains the key battleground moving into Friday. Down there at 136, key area of support. Again, kind of close, but no, that wasn't close. The price did not even get close to that level right here. Now, I will say that just looking at today isolated, very solid recovery. I mean, things did not start off very good at all. Opening 30 minutes, big plunge to the downside, but the price did level off and has now been slowly and steadily returning back upwards, which now makes it more of a much more plausible that the price could indeed come up there and do battle with that resistance line right there, which does bring up the question, will the bulls have enough strength to get up through there? But it's an interesting dynamic nonetheless. So from an overarching standpoint, not a whole lot has changed. These major levels are still in play. But looking at today, intraday, yeah, nice recovery from a brutal start of the opening 30 minutes. So let's see if the momentum can build into Friday and do battle with that upper resistance line. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage you can use to sign up. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple of situations, maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, you can't make it live, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you totally missed it. Go ahead, send me an email there to clay@claychart.com, and I will send you a link to the replay so that you can watch it at your earliest convenience. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, XOS. Very, very big mover today, especially starting off with a gap up and then just ripped and roared all the way up there. It has pulled back, but the pullback now has just created a nice little pattern here as we head into Friday. So there's the top part of the pattern, give or take a little bit. Bottom part of the pattern right there. And just to make it easier to see, let's make it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support. We have the nice upwards move right there. For you golfers, make it more visual. Put the golf hole down here. We have ourselves a nice bull pennant pattern. And as I mentioned earlier, just because something's bullish doesn't mean for sure guarantee the price is going to go upwards. But if it were to come off the lower part of the trend line, come up here and get the break, is it valid to think that that break could generate more buying pressure? That's not guaranteed, but certainly a valid thought to have. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And overall, the chart is hanging in there. But this period right here, very, very rough on it as it came up here. And this means a little bit more to those of you that watched the video from yesterday. But I talked about that resistance line right there. You can see the price hit that resistance line and got absolutely smoked to the downside. On that move downwards, basic rule in charting went in effect. That rule states when levels of support are broken, they tend to act as resistance. And going into today, that purple line there was considered an area of support, but with the price breaking down below it right there, you'd expect it to act as resistance. And that's what happened a few times right there. So moving forward now, it's basically a double whammy of resistance. Not only do you have that purple line right there as resistance, but you also have this overarching trend line right there. Now, that doesn't mean that the price can't get up through there. I'm just saying that if the bulls are going to make that push, they're really going to have to bring their A game according to the chart here. In terms of areas of support, it held strong at the location you'd want it to. Talked about this 347.25 area as being an important level, and you can see it didn't hit it exactly, but certainly got close. And the reason why that is important is If the price were to come down there and break down through there, at that point, that puts the chart down into this no man's land that suggests that another round of downside pressure could very realistically show up. But as right now, it's holding up above it. It's still got, a chance to potentially make a push up through these areas of resistance. So grab your popcorn for Friday. Next one here, QBTS. Overall, nice mover. Pretty sloppy on the breakout. I mapped out this pattern earlier and it gapped up above it, then dropped all the way back inside of the channel. And then to be fair, on the next push, got back above it and then has continued to go. But yeah, that's not necessarily the cleanest breakout I've ever seen with the gap up. That kind of threw things off. But nonetheless, it did ultimately break out and updates now need to be made with the newest pattern in play. And you got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line. And I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same trend line, wondering the same things, call it self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can certainly produce dynamic movement. So definitely keep a close eye on that. And then to go along with that, you can see that the price has been doing a good job just from a low. So we had lows there, then these afternoon lows right there. So you have some stair steps being built. So now it's just a question of, are these stair steps going to be enough to make it and give it another round of upside buying pressure? That seems plausible in my mind. So overall, though, looking good. Nice recovery from these lows, and it's putting in higher highs and higher lows. And like I mentioned earlier, from the bigger picture standpoint, that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. Next one here, FGEN. And overall, got itself a nice day. Got itself, I think that's proper English. If not, it has itself a nice day. And then we have what I would say is a very well-defined area of resistance right up there around 86 cents. Now I say around because it's not exact. A couple times the price went above that area. A couple times the price didn't quite hit it. So just trying to find a middle ground there. But yeah, right around 86 cents is certainly a general area where the price, does have some sellers up there. So, I mean, for whatever reason they're up there, I don't know. But the chart is suggesting that, whenever the price gets up around that 86 cent mark, the momentum disappears. Now, to give some credit where credit's due, last 30 minutes here, you can see good solid green candle forming. Will this green candle carry it up to then do battle with that area up there? That remains to be seen. But overall, you got to like the 86 cent area there as a potential, point that's broken and generates that much more buying pressure. And then in terms of areas of support, we have this overarching trend line right there. So let me change that to green. So that would be the preferable level. When you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the strongest? Definitely if the price can stay above there. But if it doesn't, from the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line there, 50-period moving average. So as that line moves itself higher and higher, as long as the price stays above that, then from the overarching viewpoint, the trend is still in the bull's favor. Next one here, RGTI. And overall, the chart's hanging in there. Not a bit of it. It was a gap and trap today. I mean, the price opened up there and then just down it went. With that being said, keyword there being today. A gap and trap today. If you take a step back and look at multiple days, then this is still building higher bases. So that's what matters, assuming you care about the bigger picture. Now, if you're a scalper, flipper, day trader, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within, 13 minutes, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart was a train wreck for you. But assuming you care about the bigger picture of things, it's hanging in there. What I am going to do now that we have more data is it seems though that the new kind of gang of sellers hanging right up around that 1175 mark. I mean, you can see several times, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, almost 5 times right there. But, whenever the price gotten up there, it struggled. So keep an eye on that in the near term. If the price can push up through there, then I would say the key bigger picture area of resistance is that pink line up there, 200-period moving average right now valued at 1238. But all in all, it's done a good job. Not only has it held above that support, like I mentioned earlier, it's building higher bases. So yeah, we'll see if this is a leading indicator of maybe a push back to the upside on Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be this evening, Thursday, February 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. But like I said earlier, if you cannot make it live for whatever reason, go ahead, send an email to clay@claychart.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these and you'd like for me to continue to make them, do a couple things for me. Hit that like button. And if you want to just support the channel in a super free and easy way, please hit that subscribe button, as it really does help out. So thanks for watching. Get signed up for that free class. And if you can't make it live, send me an email. But hopefully I'll be seeing you here in just a few hours.